weekend, the Indiana Fever embarrassed the Chicago Sky in a 27-point victory without Caitlin Clark, without Sophie Cunningham, and without Coach Stephanie White. So have the Indiana Fever turned a corner on their season, and will they keep Aari McDonald? What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita, and welcome to the Courtside Club. Over the weekend, the Indiana Fever had Game 2 of their rivalry series with the Chicago Sky, and a lot of fans were wondering if the Fever could beat the Chicago Sky because they have been struggling without Caitlin Clark on the floor. And even though the Chicago Sky are one of the worst teams in the league, the Fever did lose to the Connecticut Sun, so some fans were worried about this game, but the Indiana Fever, they came out strong, they made a statement, and they blew out the Chicago Sky team. So in today's video, you guys, I want to talk all things Indiana Fever. I want to talk about the state of the team right now. We do have some injury updates for Caitlin and Sophie. Coach Stephanie White does also seem to be back. But let's first talk about Aari McDonald. She was their hardship contract signing, and fans have been so impressed by Aari's play. She comes out with so much of a spark, so much energy, both on the offensive and the defensive side. And if we look at her stats from the Chicago Sky game, she played 25 minutes on the court. She was a plus 19. She had 12 points, 1 block, 3 steals, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. Now, if you are watching these games, you can tell just how much of a difference she makes when she is on the court. The Indiana Fever immediately start playing quicker when Aari McDonald is on the court. And so many fans have been calling for the Indiana Fever to sign her now. Like, take her off of this hardship contract, get her on the team, do whatever you need to do. But it simply is not that simple. So I want to explain to you guys, from my understanding, what needs to happen for the Indiana Fever to be able to keep Aari on the team. So right now they are capped out at the amount of players that they are allowed to have on their team based on their cap space and some other factors. And so for them to sign Aari, firstly, they would need to cut somebody. And even if they cut somebody today, they still cannot sign Aari to her contract to start today. They have to wait 10 days in order to sign her. Now, obviously, during that 10-day period, if there isn't something that's agreed upon between Aari and the Indiana Fever, another team could possibly scoop her up within that 10-day mark, but it's just something within the WNBA rules. Like, there's a grace period. And so Aari McDonald actually cannot stay on the team if one of the injured players comes back. And so that leaves Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, which we did hear from Coach Stephanie White today. Even though Caitlin and Sophie were participating in some portions of practice, they will not be playing tomorrow against the Atlanta Dream. So with them being out, we will see Aari for sure again tomorrow, but will we see her for the rest of the season? That is still TBD. Now, a lot of fans are calling for the Indiana Fever to cut Brianna Turner because she has not played many minutes in any of the games this season, and when she is on the floor, she doesn't seem to contribute too much. And also with backup post players like Brianna Turner and Makayla Timpson, a lot of people see a lot more potential in Makayla Timpson, even though still at this very moment she is not seeing much floor time at all. In the game against the Chicago Sky, she played 3 minutes at the very end of the game, but we're not seeing a lot from her. But I think what we do see from Makayla Timpson is just more potential, and she's also a younger player, so she could be somebody who develops for the Indiana Fever and stays there for the long term. A lot of fans are calling for them to cut Bree, take in Aari after that 10-day grace period, and I agree. I think that that would be the best move that the Indiana Fever could do at this very moment. Where it gets a little bit sticky is just the politics of it all, and that has also been something that has been discussed within the media, within social media. The Indiana Fever made this big play of all of these free agency signings. Now, if they cut somebody that they signed during free agency that they were hyping up, is that a bad look for the Indiana Fever with so many of these players being on 1-year deals? And honestly, I think at this point, you just have to treat the team as business. You have to do what's best for the team. And the Fever told us they were a win now team. Caitlin said it herself. She will be happy with nothing less than a championship. So if the Indiana Fever want to win now, it seems like Aari McDonald is really proving herself. She is there to work hard. She brings the energy. She does a great job taking care of the ball, playing that point guard position when she needs to. But then on the defensive end is honestly where I was most impressed by her was just how well she does defensively and how much she quickens up the speed of the game. That is the brand of Indiana Fever basketball that all of us want to see. That is the winning brand of Indiana Fever basketball. So the Indiana Fever needs to continue as, this season goes on and they move on for the next 5 years. They need to continue bringing in players who fit in that style of basketball, because that is the style that will help this team win a championship in the near future. Now, with that, quickly, you guys, I want to talk about Sophie and Caitlin. Both of them were in practice today. That is the first that we have seen video footage of them doing certain things in practice. And Coach Stephanie White was interviewed about their injuries after practice, because on the WNBA's website, it said that Caitlin Clark and Sophie were both game time decisions for tomorrow's game. Stephanie White shut that down pretty immediately. She was like, no. They need to ramp up. We're playing the long game. Yes, they did things here and there, but we don't want to aggravate things and make them any worse. She talked about Sophie Cunningham's ankle, and she said that this is an injury that she has aggravated a couple of times, so they're not going to push it. And the same thing with Caitlin. She's like, we want to see them ramp up. There is a difference between obviously practicing and then being in those game time situations. So it seems like her mindset and the training staff's mindset is we are thinking of the long term when it comes to these two players. So we definitely will not see them tomorrow. And I'm interested to see if they play on Saturday. Now, of course, that game against the New York Liberty is such a big game for them. They only lost by 2 points the last time they matched up, but that is a tough game when you have been out for a few weeks to just jump back in. Like, I don't see, even if Caitlin played, even if Sophie played, I don't see them getting the same amount of minutes that they normally would. So I just wonder when they're going to come back, if it's that Liberty game, if they wait till next week. And let me actually look at their schedule really quick, because maybe that would give me a better indication if I'm just going to guess when we might see them. So they play the New York Liberty on Saturday, and then the very next Tuesday they play Connecticut. So maybe that would be a better way to let the team that is playing now go up against the Liberty and see if they can hang, and then let Sophie and Caitlin come back for the Connecticut game at the earliest. We will just have to see, but that's pretty much the update there. Now, I also want to update you guys on Coach Stephanie White, because she was out for the game against the Chicago Sky, and it seems like there is something going on with her family. So all that we need to do here is just send her our good vibes, prayers, well wishes, and hope that everything is okay in her personal life. But I do want to shout out Coach Austin Kelly, because if you guys didn't know, Coach Austin Kelly, and I saw this from Scott Agnes, he was a former Fever practice player, and now he was acting as a head coach in the game. And obviously they won in a very convincing blowout. And this was something that a lot of fans were also nervous about. They're like, oh my gosh, is this Fever team going to be okay without Coach Stephanie White? Even though the Chicago Sky team is not good, there's still pressure because there's this rivalry situation. He did such a great job. And if you guys were on my live, you heard me talking about this, but I thought that maybe this would have been a good little shakeup for the Indiana Fever not having Coach Stephanie White, because I was wondering if the Fever were going to go out with the mentality of just hoop, just play ball. And sometimes it's good to do that for certain games. Like, you're not too much in your head. You're not running certain systems or plays that you have to, and you just let these girls go out and play basketball, do what they know how to do what they've been doing for pretty much their entire lives. And I felt like in this game, like, it was a lot faster pace. Lastly, I want to talk about a few other things that I noticed with this Indiana Fever team and also with the Chicago Sky team. Firstly, with the Chicago Sky, thoughts and prayers to Courtney Vandersloot. She went down with a terrible injury, and it was confirmed that it was an ACL for her, and that is a huge blow to the Chicago Sky. They are not a good team this season. We have talked about that. I don't think there's any way around it at this very moment, and unfortunately, Haley Van Lith, to me, doesn't look ready to be a starting point guard for a winning team in the WNBA. I think it's good in a sense because she'll obviously get a lot more minutes on the court, but she still doesn't look completely ready to be a starting WNBA point guard. And also the situation with Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso, both of them are not playing to their full potential. Angel Reese ended the game with 4 points and 12 rebounds, which is obviously very lopsided, and she was a -20 on the court. Camila Cardoso ended the game with 8 points and 4 rebounds. She was a -7 on the court, which was honestly one of the best for this team. But I don't see the Angel Reese Camila Camilla Cardoso duo lasting too much longer. Coach Tyler Marsh seems to be trying new strategies with Angel. We saw her working on her outside game. We saw her dribbling the ball up the court. They're calling her this point forward. It's not working for her. I don't know what needs to change. I don't know if it's just her singular player development. The system's not working for her. She's not playing very well. Camila is also just been inconsistent. Like, they can't get her in a constant flow. And I want to shout out the Fever because they kept every single one of these Chicago Sky players to under double digits in scoring. Like, if you guys look at the box score, it's a tough watch. It's tough to see the kind of numbers that these players were putting up. The Chicago Sky are a mess. I'm not sure what they're going to do. They probably need to cut and sign some new players quickly if they want to even think about doing anything this season, or otherwise I would just tank and see if you could get a good draft pick. But that's that on the Chicago Sky. And I do want to talk about the Indiana Fever because a lot of players have been calling out some of the offseason signings that the Indiana Fever made. Obviously, a lot of us were so excited about them during the offseason, but now some fans are wondering if they're the best fits, talking about Natasha Howard, talking about DeWanna Bonner specifically. And DB has been someone that a lot of fans just don't know what to make of DB, because if you look at the stat sheet, if you look at her play on the court, it has been a little bit inconsistent. And I want to stand up for DeWanna Bonner for a second because she is not the first, second, third, fourth, probably not even fifth option on this Indiana Fever team, but she is a leader on the court and in the locker room, and she is a role player. So there's going to be some games where her role is to score a lot of points. There are going to be some games where her role is to just get it done on the defensive end. There are going to be some games where she's not playing that many minutes, but she is a vocal leader for the team. Her role on the team is also to keep the team together, help them learn how to win when they're going through struggles, when they're having adversity, when they're losing games that they shouldn't lose. Like, those are the types of things that they brought in DeWanna Bonner for. They didn't bring her in to put up 20, 30 points a game. And yes, she's capable of doing that, and we might see that from her throughout the season. But I think we need to look at her role a little bit differently, because at the end of the day, like, if you're not the first, second, third, fourth option, you are a role player. That's what she is. She's a veteran. She knows how to win. She's done it before. And so I think that we need to like lay off a little bit on the DB slander and just kind of see how this team continues to mold, continues to find their groove. I do think that from this win, it seems like they turned the corner a little bit. The morale seems a little bit higher, and we will just have to see how they do against the Atlanta Dream. I do plan on going live for that game, so make sure that you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss that. But let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, and click that little subscribe button because we upload new videos every single week. And with that, you guys, I'll see you next time. Uiana.